musical guest. Welcome. FINICK, welcome.
Hi.
Hi. And we also have Ruby.
Hello.
Nice. Yeah. All the way from England. Thank you for coming. Could you believe the rain at home next time, please? Yeah. You know, I thank you so much for being here. We're super excited to have you guys. But tell us a little bit about the band. And we have half the band here. Some of the band here.
Two-thirds.
That's good.
I every now and then I play with a band, a drummer and a bassist, who are both twin siblings actually, and one of those here, Ruby, who does drums.
Yeah. And, my sister does bass. She's at work, and I'm here because I don't have a job. So.
Yeah. What do you do now?
Well, I do. I'm starting on Monday, so everybody wish me luck.
All right. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna work at Aritzia in the mall.
Very nice.
Very solid, very nice. Like, teenager job.
Yeah, that's very good. How did you all start playing music together?
Well, we've known each other for a very long time. Very long time. And I think we started playing music together mostly because of the summer camp called She-Rock, which is...
Please tell people more about She-Rock. It's amazing.
Yeah, She-Rock is an amazing camp for young teens and kids who want to get into music, and it's basically just to support young queer girls and non-binary people to do music, and it's a week long, and you basically get to learn a bunch of cover songs, and you also get randomly assigned to a band with a bunch of other campers, and you play your own original songs at the end of the week, and it's super fun. And so me and my two friends here went to that camp, and I'm pretty sure also we decided our instruments purposefully to be different from each other, so that we
could be together and potentially.
Could play together.
So you gamed the system?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
we're like, okay,
nice work.
If one person's doing this instrument, like, someone else has to do a different...
I think we were both in the band together the first year. Well, you had done it, and then me and Adriana did it the year afterwards, and that was, like, the first time I'd ever touched a drum set in my life. I had some amazing, amazing mentors who I'm still, like, so grateful for, and we're actually gonna be counseling there as, like, junior counselors in 2 weeks. So it's like totally full circle moment.
So fun.
But yeah, that was like the first time I ever picked up drums. Adriana, I think, started doing keyboards and then switched to bass.
Yeah.
But after that, we always kind of just get fired up on music, and we're like, let's keep doing this. Let's keep making stuff. So.
Yeah. We have a separate band called the Even Worse Dog. We have one song written together and have never played a show.
Very fun.
But that was sort of like our separate band project, and then I started FINICK and was like, hey, I need a band to play on the album and help with shows, and it was perfect because they already can do that.
Yeah, Josie definitely is like the main person of FINICK. She writes all the songs. We're kind of like the hired muscle in that regard, so we're definitely just stick around for shows, but it's very fun because it's like obviously known each other since elementary school, so it's like very natural and very like second nature for us.
You must have it takes other bands a while to get used to, where you can just look at each other and know.
Yeah.
We
just definitely have that.
Nailed it or not.
We're really good at like getting in the pocket. That's like definitely like feedback we've gotten from people, is that we're just like all very in sync. Like
together.
Not all of our shows are the kind of intensity where we would get like monitors on stage, and especially we definitely don't have like in-ears or anything.
No.
So it's very fortunate that we're all like,
especially considering how much we procrastinate on rehearsal.
Yes, yeah.
Like every single time, like we have a show in 4 months. Let's not rehearse till a week before.
Yeah. Let's not even figure out what songs we're gonna play. Let's not write the parts.
Yeah.
For Josie's album, we actually got into like a routine where we would
we'd get together the night before the studio time, we would like finish writing the actual parts.
Yes,
because we didn't even know what we were gonna do.
Yeah, it was that was a crazy couple of weeks because then it was like on Fridays, so Friday nights, go to Josie's basement, write all the bass and drums parts, and then in like first thing in the morning, drive to Minnehaha Recording Company, record it, having never really played with a metronome before, and then eat sushi from Lenz and Merrilies, and it was like a month of that. So.
Yeah, so trying to learn from that.
Yeah,
it does bring me back to my days of school.
Yeah,
you know, why do now what you could do in a few days?
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, and what got you to the point where you thought, I'm going to do an album?
Well, I started writing music in the pandemic, and ended up with a bunch of songs that I finished and was starting to play out once quarantine was kind of letting up. And I decided that I wanted to start releasing music, and I figured the best place to start would be an album length, because I had enough songs for it, and they were starting to get pretty old, and I still wanted to release them. I just didn't want to wait till I was 20 to release a song I wrote when I was 13 or 14 years old. Because, you know...
Yeah.
Oops.
Yep.
Sorry. Because I've written more since then, and I want to try and be at least slightly up to date on what I'm releasing and what I'm writing. But, yeah, it was because, I mean, my family's always been the type to play, like, full-length albums in the car. Like the full CD front to back, and it's just like really nostalgic for me being able to like pull out the like cover art and like follow along with the lyrics, and like having this whole like collected set of music from the artists, and I wanted to do that, so here we are.
How much time do you spend on the order of the songs?
The order?
Yeah, on the CD. Like, do you like you want someone to start the journey here and get to...
that was actually really pretty fun on Where Could We Go, because that album is sort of, it has 12 songs, and they're sort of like supposed to be like one for each month of the year, and it like follows through the seasons, and it was a lot of fun assigning songs to different months, because I don't know, it's just a fun little game of like, what's the vibe? What are like the lyrics about? There was a time when I didn't really know, because the summer songs on the album would be meant to be Lemonade Stand and Right Back Down That Road, and I never really knew which one should go in what order, because honestly the summer months are all the same to me. And yeah,
I remember we go camping every October, like our families. I just like have such a core memory of like walking through like this autumn like forest, and just kind of all of our families were like way far ahead, and us three were just kind of like lagging behind, being like, okay, but Right Back Down That Road is like so much more in August, or like, you know, like just like arguing about like what fits what month. And what's funny is like it's been such a rainy summer that it's like such a rain falls vibe right now, but that is not like a summer song. So the seasons have been weird this year specifically, but last year
they were pretty on schedule. Other than the snow. Yeah. But
absolutely. Hey, can we ask you to play a song?
You can.
Awesome.
Okay. Whipping out.
All right. Do you want to tell us about a song first, or you want to play it and then?
With all this talk of Where Could We Go, I want to play a song from that album.
Okay.
I'm going to play a song called Beware the Beast. It's the September song.
Okay.
And that's mostly because it was September because I already had one for November and October, and
but also, you know, school is a beast.
I figured that was going to be the answer. I was like, well, I know why. I know why.
Yeah. There's actually some debate at one point, I think, between whether or not Beware the Beast and Stones in My Souls should, like, switch seasons. Because for me, Stones in My Souls is a pretty, like, autumn song. but it's in the I put it in spring in terms of.
I like that. I like both of those songs, but now I'm like, does it feel like autumn? I don't know.
Yeah. But I eventually decided on those because I feel like at the end of the school year, I'm always so tired. It's just like, gotta keep trudging through. We're almost done. So that's how that happened. But anyways, here's Beware the Beast. They've got scales that shine brighter than the richest riches that you've ever known. With piercing gaze will hunt you down. Don't blink, don't breathe, don't make a sound. Beware the beast who roams this land. And to the lucky survivors there are none. With rubies, sapphires, greed for gold, their guarding power that they stole. With gleaming teeth and sharpened claws, they'll catch you running with biting jaws. Beware the beast who owns this land. And to the lucky survivors there are none. So beware the beast who roams this land. And to the lucky survivors, better run. You better run. Beware the warning in this song. 'Cause if you don't, it won't last long. So heed the warning in this song.
Nice. Beware the Beast by FINICK in studio. Mostly Minnesota music on WMCN 91.7 FM on the beautiful McAllister College campus in St. Paul. That part of my job done. I love that song. Tell us a little bit about it. There's in several of your songs, there's kind of a cautionary tale, kind of the focus on the tale. I think you do such a nice job with storytelling. Yeah. So
Thank you. Beware the Beast is about dragons. I feel like it's one of my most like folktale type of songs, especially like on the album. I was really aiming for around the fireplace. This is what people like, the story people pass down to like warn people about the dragons. I think actually Ruby was the one who first inspired me to write a song about dragons.
Oh my gosh. Because, I didn't even know this.
Because at the time for a long time I was really into this book series about dragons, and I think at some point Ruby mentioned that I should like write a song about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did, and thus was born Beware the Beast.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of fun to write, because I liked the topic, and it was also really interesting to figure out drums for it, because in the verses, there's like random parts where it switches to 3/4 times for like a single line, and then goes back to 4/4, and then switches back to 3/4 for a line, and then goes back to 4/4. And that was pretty tricky to
that's like
sort
the thing
out.
with like you only writing songs on guitar is like when we went to record it, it was like, this sounds totally like normal when you just play it on guitar, but then like when you really get into it, there's like tempo switches and time signature switches that like you didn't even notice, none of us noticed, so then we just had to write all these little weird parts in it. And I do remember specifically somebody, like an engineer at the studio, was like, when you're writing songs in the future, like, don't do this again, because it took us so long to like figure out and especially percussion for that song, because we wanted it to sound folky, and we ended up buying like a cajon thing, and then it was just like,
oh my god. There was one for Beware the Beast. There was one, we had cajon as percussion in the choruses. We literally asked my mom to run to the store to like Guitar City or something, get it, and then bring it to the studio as we were still in there, so that we could record with it. It was,
it's good to have a natural groupie.
Yeah. Very nice, especially since none of us had our driver's licenses at the time.
Point.
So,
well, what I wanted, because as I listened, I'm like, this could be about climate change. This could be about so many different things.
I feel like dragons work as very symbolic creatures for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How do you come up with the different ideas for songs? Because and you've got a couple that are very sea focused.
Yeah.
Just like, I like those, but do you sort of think, I'm going to write about the sea, or do you watch a movie and think, oh, that interests me now? Or
the answer is like all of the ways. At one point or another, there's always a new way to be inspired to write about something, especially for the 2 new singles that are about that are sea themed. Those were, I think, very much so like, I had an idea that I wanted to write about a song about those like things. I wanted to write a song about mermaids and pirates and stuff, because I think they're cool and have a lot of just cool imagery and themes. So that was very much like, I sat down and was like, I'm going to write a song about this, and let's see what happens after that. With Captain Tori, it was a really weird process, because I wrote the like first line of the song, of like, gather around and listen closely, because I was like, it's sort of like a bard vibe.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so,
like, gather around, I got a song to sing about the story, and then I had writer's block for like 7 months and didn't touch it like ever again, until I finally decided I wanted to like release the 2 songs, even though Captain Tori was barely a song. It was 30 seconds of something. I was like, okay, I have to write the rest of this. Just start saying words, and something will come out of the woodwork, hopefully. And then, the story emerged of like 2 friends who grew apart because of Captain Tori's pirateering on the sea. It was very destructive. So that was a cool process, for sure.
I'm a huge fan of mythology in a lot of stories, so that's what I like about so much of the music, is I can hear in it.
Yeah.
For me, it's more Greek or Roman or different kinds of mythology, but yeah.
I'm actually just remembering, we were in mythology class in freshman year of high school, and that's when you first said, I think I should try to write sea shanties, and that was like,
we wrote lyrics to a sea shanty song for an assignment.
for a final in our mythology class, which me and Adriana transferred into because we were like lonely, and so Josie just like led us into her group project, and we were like, we need to write a sea shanty, and when you said the word mythology, I just like totally remembered that. I mean, technically that was the inception. Obviously, it then sat untouched for like another year and a half before it got started.
Yeah, that was a fun class.
That was fun. I remember one time I flipped you. I tried to do like a flip, and you fell into a desk. And that was like the most memorable thing of that class for me.
Yeah.
I would hope. Well, what's funny is I listened to it, I thought of Ulysses, the story of Odysseus.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which I know more the Irish novel that comes off of it, but that is what I thought of right away. So
yeah.
Nice job.
Totally.
Nice
Thank
job.
you.
Would you like to play another song?
I can.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Let's play Captain Tory, man.
Awesome.
Awesome. The break in the song where there's usually a fiddle part kind of drags on without the fiddle, but you just need to imagine it. You just need to pretend.
As long as you're not asking us to participate and sound like fiddles, we're good.
So
we're down.
If you could like acapella some fiddle parts, that would be great. Yeah. All right. Gather around and listen closely. I know a tale you won't forget. You've heard the name of Captain Tory. Well, this begins the day we met.
In that song.
Thank you.
It's really, a lot of your songs show a wisdom that usually presents in people much older.
I've been told that.
An old soul?
Yeah. I don't know. I try my best.
That's good.
To be wise.
That's good. Just a lot of them. I mean, I think that between the storytelling and, as I said, that cautionary tale, and there's always something to be learned. So that's...
Yeah. I think that's also, a lot of my personal writing style in general, because most of my songs, I think of it as creative writing, more so than documentary of my life. And I think for me the easiest way to write is sort of about like there's like a lesson and how that can be portrayed in unique ways. It's fun.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think how often I ask people, like, why do you write a song? What is the purpose of a song? But to think of just to put out a little lesson.
Yeah. It's storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But it's very, But there's storytelling, and then there's the element of coming away with more.
Yeah.
I want to ask a little bit about you are playing a lot this week, in fact.
Yeah, I am.
But how to transition from doing a lot of this during the pandemic to playing live? How has that gone? Or how did it go? I guess we're beyond it now, but
it's a lot better now. But playing out at first was definitely very scary. I have anxiety, and it was not easy playing by myself in front of strangers for the first time. I was very awkward. Not a lot of talking in between. So that's definitely something that with practice I think I've gotten better at. And it's helped a lot also to like build my confidence just in like everyday life. 'Cause it's just like, I do music and I know how to talk to strangers now. I kind of network every now and then.
Well, as we had said before we went on air, this is your second interview today, so you can network.
Yeah. It's mostly it's mostly my dad and Adriana who do the emailing, but still, I mean, in person, I can be fine.
Your reputation is starting to precede you. I remember hearing last year in chemistry class, I heard a sophomore being like, "Did you know that there's somebody in our school with 1,000 like listeners on Spotify?"
It's
and
like, not
it was
true.
It was like a
nothing in
he was like
true.
He was like, "Yeah, it's that girl with the dyed hair. Like I don't know what her name is." And I was just like doing my like lab experiment, being like, "Ha ha ha ha!" Like you don't know that like I'm part of that as well. It was like very funny. But you definitely have gotten better at it. It's great.
Yeah, I definitely. Aside from even like social aspects of just like knowing what you're supposed to bring to like venues was also very much new to me, and like the tech and the instruments. But it's definitely been a learning process. But the Twin Cities have a very supportive music scene and community, and that's been one of my favorite things. Is like, I mean, the more I play out, the more I recognize people, and the more I talk to people, they're like, yeah, I know this person, and everyone's just so, like, it's such a, like, close-knit community, despite how big it is, and that's probably been one of my favorite parts.
Well, and you really got a crash course with She-Rock.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I'd say that some of those folks have still got to be mentoring, and, all right, have you played with any of them? I mean, I know, obviously, you played in the camp, but...
Yeah, not with any of the counselors, but we've definitely, like, we know some of the counselors and have, like, seen some of them play outside of She-Rock in their own bands, because, all of them have their own hustle, and it's just, like, really, really cool being a part of that community as well, of, like, queer women and non-binary people in bands and playing music that, you get to see. And there's been so many instances where because they have bands play during lunch at the summer camp, and there's been so many instances where, like, years later, that band starts, like, blowing up, and we hear them all the time on the radio. We're like, I knew them when, like, I have their sticker on my guitar case.
We used to be so, like, starstruck,
right.
And now it's kind of cool, because it's, like, obviously, like, we're going to be counseling, and it's, like, not on the exact same level, but, like, we are in, like, a community with these people, and we have met a lot of also amazing people our age from that experience that we still, like, just sometimes go out to their shows, and we're like, hey, we wrote a song about unicorns together when we were, like, 9, and...
Want to come to my shows?
Right, like, let's hang out, And, like, I'm very excited to be a counselor because it's kind of like a reunion of everybody. And it's just a great, like, next gen kind of feeling.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Well, almost a graduation of some sort. You know, where now you're on the other side of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Are there things that you learned as a student, as a camper there, that you know you'll bring in as teacher?
Yeah.
Mentor?
A lot of things. Especially, I mean, it's a great place to learn about different people and how to respond to conflict, no matter, like, what kind. And I think that was, like, a very valuable lesson that I learned at the camp, and I'm hoping to be able to pass on that wisdom, because it's a very important lesson to learn of, like, how do you respond when there's a disagreement? How do you, like, love people that you didn't know about before?
Yeah, it's, like, definitely, I remember our first band, like, we were, like, so young, and, like, you know, the vocalist was like, I want to write a song about my boyfriend, and the counselor had to be like, nobody here knows your boyfriend, so I'm sorry, but it's just, like, such a masterclass in, like, let's find an idea that works for everybody, and also just, like...
a joint song about the boyfriend.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And then, I'm pretty sure our song did end up being about, like, a battle between unicorns.
Yeah.
And, like, the human world.
Dark unicorn and, you know, everything.
Yeah. All of that stuff. But I also think, like, being able to perform, like, you know, stage fright, because, like, that room, when you are doing your final performance, it gets pretty packed. Like, it feels very real and very intense, and I remember...
it's so fun, though.
Yeah, it's just... I remember having this amazing, amazing mentor, and I feel like I went on stage that first time I ever played drums in front of people, and I had, like, such bad stage fright, and then after that, I was never, like, scared again. And, like, never, because I kind of proved to myself, like, I can do it, and it's just a great environment to, like, build your confidence and be like, you know, I can be good at this, and this is something that I can do, and it's just, like, I will for always be so grateful for that.
Yeah.
Do you have a method you can share?
I mean, I'm kind of different from Josie because I just love performing, like, in everything, and, like, Josie's definitely everybody's different, so I also do, like, theater and everything, so I'm, like, very but I do remember I would take off my shoes when I drum, and it's like it's like literally one of those things that you just get from the first person that ever teaches you something. Like, the first person who ever taught me drums, like, they drum barefoot, so now I drum barefoot, but it's just like definitely, I remember this ritual of just, like, kicking off my, like, Crocs or whatever, because it's, like, the middle of the summer, and just being, like, feeling, like, grounded and being, like, I can do this, I'm about to, like, rock out so hard, and, like, there's the crowd in front of you, and you're just, like, let's go. Obviously, like, it's kind of different with Josie's music, it's a little bit more, like,
it's a little more laid back.
Scaled back than what we do at She-Rock, but, I mean, there's still definitely a feeling of, like, kind of grounding yourself and being, like, also, especially playing with other people, you get into the pocket, you literally get into each other's rhythm, and it's like, that's the only thing that exists, and it's like, such an amazing
I
feeling.
love the performing arts. It's a magical time.
Well, it must be different when you've got folks behind you, and sometimes you play solo.
Yeah, I usually play solo.
Okay.
Unless it's, like, a ticketed venue or the Winnipeg Folk Festival.
I know, it's on my list, so let's talk about the Winnipeg Folk Festival.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for you.
Yeah, I'm excited too. It was, this is our second year.
Awesome.
Going, and it was a lot of fun last year. This is one of the instances where I play with the full band, Ruby and Adriana.
Nice.
We become a trio.
Yes.
Nice. And it's really, well, we were the only band, actually, last year. Everyone else was solo.
Actually, I think there was one group of two,
okay.
but we definitely were the only one with a drummer or any percussion, and also the only Americans. So it was, like, very, like, triple isolation, because we were the youngest as well.
Yeah.
It was, like, very crazy.
Yeah, which is weird for a youth program, because I think the age gap is, like, 16 to 24. So it's like, yeah, we're actually all adults here, but it's still okay. But it was really cool meeting a bunch of Canadian artists that were still young and kicking and playing music and just sort of hearing everybody's songs. One of my favorite experiences from that was probably when everyone in our group jammed out on one of the people in our group's second song, where we were all just like playing our instruments, got to whip out the drums with Ruby, like harmonizing. It was a lot of fun to do that.
Is that something that happens on stage? Is that something that happens, just to use my Irish background, at the pub later? You know, just a session sort of?
We did do a jam out on stage, but it was planned because there's a day beforehand where you get to meet up with your group and talk and show each other your songs.
Well, now can you explain a little bit more about the group? And tell us about,
So, in the youth program, it's basically, there's like 5 or 6 groups that go on throughout the day, of like, they're like mini groups, subsections of the program. And how it works is kind of like a songwriter rounds where you all sit in a row and go one at a time and then go through again and play a second song. And so that was sort of the process, and our group was awesome. We had all sorts of stuff going on. Because one of the people in our group was also like a jazz musician, and he was like jamming out on the piano at one point. I was like, wow.
Very talented, very, very like instrumentally talented people, which I think we're sort of like, we're sort of used to like brute forcing it or just kind of being like, it's more about the performance, but these people like had such a deep knowledge of like music theory, so like we were in this like little random classroom in Winnipeg, Canada, and we were just like, these people would just whip out these like crazy like little riffs, like just adding on, and then it was like all together, and it was like very magical experience.
It's like, okay, so I actually need to do the version of that with the capo, and it's only 3 chords, and I'm actually not going to do that riff because I can't. But it turned out okay. It turned out great.
And then we all like played our songs and said what songs we were going to play, and like got a little bit of feedback because everybody got like a mentor who's like somebody who's actually playing at the festival. And then we kind of shared songs for fun, but then we were like, oh, wouldn't it be fun if we jammed on this song that this guy wrote? So then we all did that, and then we decided to also cover a Florence and the Machine song because we were like, we had time.
Good fit.
So we were like, what's a song that's like folky, but will also have like, because we had drums, 3 guitars, a piano, like a million vocalists and bass. So we were like, we need to like get it going here. So we decided to cover Florence.
Dog Days Are Over.
Yeah.
Classic.
Because everyone
knows that song.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
And we're going again this year, and we're excited because it's like you get a different group, you get a different mentor, get to like meet more people, establish more connections up there, and play, and also like you get to go to the festival and like kind of you get backstage passes for one of the days.
Yeah.
So it's like eating in the like food area where all of the
other
artists like
including main stage artists.
Yeah, like they're just like getting in the line for their cafeteria, and you're like, oh my god, who am I gonna see?
I know. Tell us some highlights about who you saw.
I didn't see any.
Yeah, last year, okay, because we had our eyes out. The thing is, last year Orville Peck was supposed to like headline, and we wanted to see him really bad, or I wanted to see him really bad, but then he like pulled out at the last minute. But we also had somewhere that we were heading after that, so we didn't stay super long, but we're hoping to stay longer and see some of the main stage shows this year. But also, like, just even the experience of being backstage at a festival was crazy, because you have, like, I didn't even know how any of that worked, but you have, like, an instrument check where you, like, put your instruments and you get a little tag, and I was like, this is all so crazy, and just a cool, I mean, obviously I'm just the drummer, so I'm just walking around with a pair of sticks, but, like, everybody else, it was very exciting.
Never say just the drummer. You're the drummer.
Somebody actually came up to us after our set and was like, said to me, like, I've never heard somebody that's, like, willing to play that quietly, and I was like, interesting compliment. I'll take it, but interesting.
That is interesting.
It was funny.
It's like, this is a folk festival, not
like
not
I'm
a
not
hardcore metal fest or something.
I'm not gonna be rocking out like I normally would.
Yeah. Yeah.
It sounds like an amazing.
Yeah.
We'll be watching. We'll be
Very
watching. But it is fun to hear about all the different things that you learn. Because it's,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, even if you go to a festival, you learn,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
pack your sunscreen. Just
Yeah.
some little things like that, just some of the nuances.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to play another song?
I can play another song.
That'd be awesome.
What song should I play?
Something new.
Something
Yeah.
unreleased.
Something
Oh,
unreleased.
Oh my
fantastic.
goodness.
I think that'll be fun.
Let's do that. What should I?
I mean, I was just talking about Liar Liar. I have
Yeah.
not heard that song in 5 million years, and I love that song, so.
Let's do it.
Perfect.
Let's go.
You get to hear the workshop version now.
Oh, yeah, because you changed
Because
it.
yes.
Yay, I'm excited now.
I mean, you guys don't really know.
We won't know.
There's
that.
not a
We won't know,
difference.
Yeah.
but-
It's basically this is how it's always been. Yeah. My conscience is spotless, it's flawless, a glowing resemblance of heaven. My record's been kept clean, it's pristine, nothing that could be deemed wrong, no crimes, no lies, but you fall into a paradox. Which side will you choose? Which side do you trust? I've never told a lie in my life. Oh, no tells, no signs. Would you know if I didn't want you to? Well, if you don't, then that's on you. I have never known guilt, never wilted under the pressure of punctuality. My profanity is gathering cobwebs, cause my words are clean, never obscene. Nothing that could be deemed out of line, no lies, but you fall into a paradox. Which side will you choose? Which side do you trust? I've never told a lie in my life. Oh, no tells, no signs. Would you know if I didn't want you to? Well, if you don't, then that's on you. My body is covered in purple freckles that spell my name in braille. And I've never written a song, let alone played through a scale. And last year my house grew wings and flew us over the sea. But most of all, the most truthful person in the world is me. I never told a lie in my life. No tells, no signs. I never told a lie in my life. No tells, no signs. Would you know if I didn't want you to? Well, if you don't, then that's on you. I've never told a lie in my life. Oh, no tells, no signs. I've never told a lie in my life. Oh, no tells, no signs. Would you know if I didn't want you to? Well, if you don't, then that's on you.
Yay.
Very clever. Very clever. Now, I am tempted to ask what's different or which version do you prefer, Ruby, but after a song like that, I'm setting you up.
It's amazing. I love I just love that song so much. Like the sort of third act like twist
Yeah.
is probably one of my favorite things from a lyrical standpoint that you've ever written, and I'm very excited to work on that song.
Yes.
Whenever we get around to working on it.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, no, it very clever.
Thank you.
I mean, it's a great song with Rope, but it's very clever.
Yeah, it's probably one of my most upbeat songs from the catalog. Apparently I don't write that many. But it's definitely a fun one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good. Do you want to tell us about some of the upcoming shows you've got in town?
Yeah.
For folks who may want to go see you?
And your social media?
All the things.
To remind me. Yeah,
Takes a village.
Yeah.
Adriana's really the one that's on the ball.
Yeah. I'm playing at Sociable Cider Works on July 2nd. So that's a nice, easy one. I'm also playing at the airport on July 3rd, which, if you want to, buy a ticket and go on a trip and then see me play, that would be cool.
Wait, I'm actually flying out of town on the 3rd. We're in the airport. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Wow. That's so perfect.
That's a great coincidence. Oh my goodness.
I can't remember where in the airport.
I mean, I don't think there's a lot of places in the airport that have live music.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to come find you. That's a really cool place to play.
Yeah, so definitely stop by.
Absolutely.
And then I'm playing Taste of Minnesota on the 6th. So, also another great option for everyone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then social media.
Yep.
My Instagram handle is FINICK.official. You may follow.
If you would like.
If you would like, for more information on shows and everything else. And it's just FINICK on all streaming platforms. 1N, FINICK, not the Hunger Games character. I was asked about that actually this morning in the other interview. They asked me about my name, and they're like, oh, I was surprised it wasn't you weren't about to say have you ever seen the Hunger Games? It's yeah, I have. It has nothing to do with it.
Good try.
Yeah, close.
Well, thank you both so much for coming in. This has been a delight. I'm looking a little bit at the clock on the wall because somebody's going to come in after us, but thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Josie, thanks for letting me talk.
Yeah.
I was not coming in here expecting
This was not planned.
This was not planned. I just had nothing to do.
That's even better.
Yeah.
Even better. The
Double
more
trouble.
the merrier, always. So we go back to some recorded music, but first I'm going to remind folks that they're listening to Mostly Minnesota Music on WMCN 91.7 FM in St. Paul. We were delighted to have FINICK in studio with us. Thank you, and just gave a list of times and places you can see you, and we'll be watching for the Winnipeg Folk Festival. So so thank you.
Thank you.
38 seconds.
You know what? May we get a picture of